Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mr. Ian Teaches English. Today's video is a special request from one of my students who always got confused about the verb get. It is a confusing verb because it has so many definitions. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, let's look at the verb get. Now, the verb get, what does it look like? This is a pretty complete chart over here. I'm not going to read it. The only thing I will say is look at the difference between the past participle, this is the past participle, or any perfect tense. Got is the British form and gotten is the American form. Notice my pronunciation, gotten, those T's kind of disappear. That's a pronunciation rule that we're not going to talk about today. Now, why are we talking about the verb get? Because it has so many different definitions. Here are the 5 most common definitions with examples. If you want a complete list, you can Google search it. Just search define get to find a full list, but there are a lot of them. So here are the top 5. Number 1 is to receive. If you receive something, you can say I got something. Number 2, to succeed in doing or accomplishing something. Number 3, to reach a state or become. Number 4, to come or go with difficulty. It's not always with difficulty, but you'll see in the example here, I finally got to work. This is an expression that people use with got here. And the last one means to understand. And on the first slide, I made a little joke using that verb. If you understand, that get means understand sometimes. Now, the most important part of the verb get, except that it has many different definitions, is that it is sometimes used in the passive voice. I haven't talked about passive voice on this channel yet, but I will. Many of you have studied the passive voice in school when you're learning English. The passive voice is when the subject of the sentence does not do the action, but receives the action. So we can use get instead of be in these examples, but we don't use an agent, or we don't say who did it when we use the passive voice with get. So for example, we got paid today. So we receives the paying, but we don't know who did it. She got fired by her boss. This is a good sentence, except don't use the agent. It's just not commonly used. Can you use it? Yeah. Should you use it? Nah. And then the last one here, 3 people got shot last night. Now let's do a little practice. I'm not going to practice with the passive voice because I'll talk about that more on my passive voice video. But here, look at these 12 sentences. See if you can remember those definitions from before. Pause the video, take a moment to see which definition of the verb get from those 5 most common ones we're using here. All right, let's have a look at these answers. Number 1, I don't think he gets the idea. This is the 5th definition, meaning to understand. And you can substitute this word. I don't think he understands the idea. Number 2, get over here. This means to come or go. So get over here, come over here. Number 3, did you get a receipt? This is the first definition, receive. Did you receive a receipt? Number 4, he's gotten really good at this. Become. He's become really good at this. Number 5, he got the top score this term. This is the second definition, to succeed or accomplish. He accomplished the top score this term. Now, you can't always substitute the word, but many times the idea is so similar that it can be used. So number 6 is come or go. Number 7, understand. Number 8, receive. Number 9, become. Number 10, succeed or accomplish. Another word might be achieve as well. Number 11, if you don't get it, please ask a question. Understand. And the last one, was a trick question. There's no context here. We don't know what it is. So if you chose any of those, it works. The other two, I just can't think of a reason why the other two definitions would work. So if you got those right, fantastic. If you got them wrong, go back and review the definitions on slide number 3. Have a look and try it one more time. Now, why is this important? It is important to understand the verb get has many definitions. If you believe the verb get has one definition, like receive, which is the most common, when people use the word get, it's going to be very confusing. So understand that it has a lot of definitions, and if you don't know what people mean, you can always ask. Say, hey, what does that mean? Can you say that differently? Now, the passive is important because if you don't create the passive correctly, you think the subject is doing the action when the subject is actually receiving the action. So stay tuned. I will make a video about the passive to discuss that idea. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful in making things more clear about how we use this verb get in so many different ways. Go ahead and you try. Put a sentence down in the comments and I'll tell you if you did a good job, if you have good context to meet one of those definitions that we talked about. While you're there, go ahead and hit subscribe. I have a lot of videos coming out, almost one every day. So if you want to understand English grammar, if you want to sound a little bit more natural, and especially understand these phrasal verbs, then stay tuned. We'll see you next time.